welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sophie and I'm the founder of Agnes, and today's video is going to be a repair video. It's quite a common repair, I'm sure comes up from time to time in everyone's wardrobe. I've got these trousers that I brought a few years ago now, but I absolutely love them, and the zip has broken on the fly, like it's just come off both sets of teeth. So this is actually my first time doing this repair, but it's because I love these trousers so much that I'm actually going to the effort to try and repair them. So hopefully it turns out all right and show you what I'm doing. Let's get into it. So I have the trousers with the broken zip, and then I just went on Etsy and found a YKK closed-ended zip to replace it with, and I just measured the length of the zip on the fly so I'd know how long the new zip needed to be. Let's get straight into the video and repair my trousers. So first things first, I need to unpick this zip and remove this zip from the trousers. So I'm going to unpick all the parts where it's stitched in, so including the fly flap and the zip as well. So I've got my seam ripper or unpicker, however you like to call it, and I'm just going to unpick everything that's holding this zip in. Okay, so I've got the old zip out now, and I've had to unpick a little bit more than I was planning on unpicking because I'm going to need to stitch the new zip down to the inside of the fly, and I'm going to need to sandwich it in between these two layers as well. So I'm just going to tidy up some of these threads that are loose, and then I've got my new zip ready to go back in. So I might need to cut this to the length that I need, and we'll see how this goes. So I'm just going to pin the new zip into place, doing this side first because I think this will be the easiest side to start with. So that's all pinned in there, so let's stitch it in. So I switched over to a zipper foot on my machine so I can get nice and close to the edge of the zip. So I'm just going to do a straight stitch. I'm going to do 2 rows of stitching to stitch this zip down. So that's the first row of stitching done, the inside row. So that's stitched to the inside of the fly flap. And then I'm just going to stitch this flap down as well. Pinned this side down, so what I'm going to do first is stitch it to this flap, and then I'll go back and top stitch this in place over the top of it once I've secured the actual zip. I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. So yeah, 2 rows of stitching. Okay, so now I've done 2 rows of stitching down this one. I've just trimmed the top of the zip off and trimmed the zipper feet off, so when it's sitting in here there won't be the bulk of the zipper feet because that is going to tuck up back into the waistband. So I'm now going to stitch this top piece over the top, nice and close to the edge. Once I've done that, I'll go back and tuck this into the waistband and do the same on that side and redo the stitching around the curve of the fly. Okay, so far that's looking like that's going to have worked. Okay, so because, let's focus, when I cut the top of this zip off, I cut this stopper off. I then had the issue that when I zipped my zipper up, the zip pull was flying straight off the top. So what I've done to try and stop this, I don't know if you can see that there, I've just put a little tacking stitch at the top there to hopefully act as a stopper up there, and then I'm having to go back to the bottom of the zip, and I had to pull the bottom stopper off so that I could release one side of it. Now, actually I could really do with a small pair of pliers for this, but I don't have one, so I'm just going to have to do the best I can. So then I can get the zip back lined up at the bottom and pull the zipper closed again. So I can try and work this back on to the other side. So I can do the zip up and hopefully it won't come off that. Yeah, so now I've put this stitch up the top there. It won't come off that side. I did just have to unpick this side and re-stitch it on because the zips weren't quite lined up. This is something that I always find as a challenge when sewing up zips, is getting both sides lined up so it sits flat in the garment. Another note for when you're stitching zips as well is you don't want to get too close to the zipper teeth with your stitches. That's because that causes the problem that when you're zipping something up and it starts to catch on the fabric underneath it, that's because it's sewn too close to the zipper teeth. So I actually think that's quite a good distance, and hopefully this zip is going to work. Obviously I'll need to wear them for a little bit to check that it stays up. Now all I've got left to do is trim down this side, tuck it back into the waistband and stitch the waistband up, and then redo this stitching around the fly here and redo the bar tack down here to hold it all into place. The stitching that I've used is more golden than the stitching that was already on these trousers. I think it must have been dyed to match because you can see here like where the dye's not come through. So I probably could have found a thread closer to match these, but to be honest I think this will do. It's not massively obvious. Probably the most obvious place will be around here, but yeah, I don't think it will. It was quite a good match anyway, so I don't think it'll matter too much. So I'm going to trim down this side, and I might have the same issue with this side once I remove this stopper, so I might have to put a tacking stitch in here as well just to stop the top of the zip flying off. I don't really want to stitch over the teeth as this will break my needle. That's why I'm trying to trim the teeth that are going to go under this seam off. You can get a special pair of pliers that pull zip teeth off. Unfortunately I don't have that, so I'm just going to snip them off. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm really pleased that I actually managed to fix this zip. It means that I will hopefully be able to wear these trousers for years to come, and if it happens on any of my other trousers, now I know what to do. And it really wasn't as tricky as I thought it was going to be. It was actually quite straightforward. So let me know in the comments below if you were going to try this with any of your zips that have broken. Obviously it is such a good way to extend the life of our clothing and save them from landfill. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments for me, please leave them down below and I will get back to you. And yeah, if you did enjoy the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I will be releasing new videos like this one every week. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back next week with another video.